In this lesson, we're going to learn about our cofunction identities. So I want you to take a look at our triangle right here. And we need to know something about our triangle before we start on our cofunction identities. I want you to notice that angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degrees, and you guys know that from geometry. We also have a special symbol in here where angle C is located. That special symbol means that C is 90 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and change C to 90 degrees. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract 90 degrees from both sides. I then am left with A plus B, angle A, plus the angle B measure equals 90 degrees. And I know that when I add two angles together, and their sum is 90 degrees, that means that those two angles are complementary. So I'm going to go ahead and erase my work right here, or as much of it as I can. And I'm going to put a note right up here at the top that angles A and B are complementary, just to remind us as we go through this lesson. Alright, so now I want to draw your attention to the 6 trig functions. I actually have 12 laid out, 6 for angle A and 6 for angle B. So I want to go ahead and fill those in using SOHCAHTOA. The sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse, which is A over C. Cosine of A is adjacent over hypotenuse, B over C. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, A over B. Cosecant of angle A is just the reciprocal of sine, C over A. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so it's C over B. And then cotangent of A is the reciprocal of tangent, which is B over A. Let's go ahead and do the same for angle B, but I want you to notice I put my 6 trig functions in a different order than normal, and I did that for a reason. So let's take a look at the cosine of angle B. Cosine is adjacent, which is A over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite, which is B over hypotenuse. Cotangent is going to be adjacent over opposite, A over B. Secant is just the reciprocal of cosine, so it's C over A. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so it's C over B. And then tangent is the reciprocal of cotangent, so it's B over A. And I want you to notice that all of these, let's see, the ones that are across from each other, sine of A has the same exact value as the cosine of B. Cosine of A has the same exact value as the sine of B. Tangent of A is equal to the cotangent of B. Cosecant of A equals the secant of B. Secant of A equals cosecant of B, and cotangent of A equals tangent of B. And we're going to use those relationships to solve a couple of problems, keeping in mind that A and B are complementary. So if I know that sine of A equals cosine of B, I know that A plus B must equal 90 degrees. So if I'm given something that looks like sine of A equals cosine of B, knowing that sine and cosine are equal and their angles must be complementary, I know that A plus B has to equal 90 degrees. Okay, these right here, these functions are the cofunction identities. Okay, in any right triangle, the sine of A is the same as the cosine of B, and they are considered cofunctions of each other. So these are things that you're going to need to memorize for your test. So let's go ahead and walk through one example. So I want to take, or two examples. I want to take the cosine of 52 degrees, and I want to write it in terms of its cofunction. And its cofunction, the cofunction for cosine is sine. I know that cosine of A equals sine of B only if those measures of A and B are complementary. So I can easily change cosine of 52 degrees into the sine function just by finding its complement, and its complement is going to be 38 degrees. So I can easily rewrite cosine of 52 in terms of its cofunction sine. So let's take a look at another example that you will probably have in your homework. And let's do sine of 2 theta plus 10 degrees. And I'm going to tell you that the sine of 2 theta plus 10 degrees equals the cosine of 3 theta minus 20 degrees. Well, my cofunction identities tell me that if sine equals cosine, then their two angles, A and B, must be complementary. So I can take their angles, and I'm going to add them up, and set that equal to 180 degrees. They need to be complementary. So let's go ahead and solve this. We have 5 times theta minus 10 degrees equals 180 degrees. 5 theta equals 190 degrees. So what do we have for theta? Theta will equal 38 degrees. So when theta equals 38 degrees, sine and cosine will be equal to each other. So on your homework, you will have a couple of problems where you will have to use your cofunction identities to solve.